Hey everyone, this is Virulent here, and today we have not just one but two LBA battles. And the reason for that is because I have two battles a week and I decided to combine them into one episode just to keep the LBA into a corner and other battles into a corner. So also sometimes I get silly battles and I would like to combine them with the good ones in just one episode and leave them in the back in case someone didn't want to watch them or in case someone wanted to watch them. I can't upload an entire episode for a silly battle, so right now we have a battle against Portland Timbers. Pori Arcanines. And it's also against Nuclear Android, which was the finalist of last season. We both reached the finals. He was the champion of his division, I was the champion of my division, and I managed to beat him with my Hippowdon that I drafted in the last minute or picked up in the last minute because I did not have a Hippowdon on my team. And then I decided it's a good option for him. So anyways, right now, Nuclear Android is battling us. This is a cross-division match. We're both in different divisions. So even though in the LBA you can't have the same Pokemon, but each division has... Well, I only have two divisions, but the other division has its own Pokemon and its own picks. So he has some Pokemon that are on my team, for example, Skarmory. So this battle will be hard. So this week I'm battling two people with Mega Medicham, so I decided to bring defensive Reuniclus, which can just counter them completely. And I decided to lead off with my Giacidao as he leads up with his Buster, and I brought Banded Reckless Mienshao because he has no switch-ins for this thing. His physically defensive Milotic takes 90%, his Skarmory takes 75%, so he has no switch-ins for this thing. And he goes for Fake Out, and because he's Mega Medicham, believe it or not, regular Medicham actually dies to a Banded High Jump Kick, but he's Mega Medicham, he gets a 10 boost which will save him from that kill. I decided to go for U-turn, and then he will use his High Jump Kick on me, and this High Jump Kick is not doing much. It's actually doing a lot, but it's the highest damage Mega Medicham can ever dish out against a Reuniclus. No other move will do more than that. So I figured he want to go into his Crocodile and just Trap me, so I decided to go for an Energy Ball to damage that thing. But actually he goes into his Raikou, which is the Assault Fist. I guess a safer play since he can take any hit anyways. So I figured he's gonna Volt Switch and go out. I really didn't consider Shadow Ball when I was preparing for him. I had Chansey on my team, but I didn't bring Chansey because, like I said, I didn't consider Shadow Ball, and I really don't like playing with Chansey. So I went for Substitute, predicting him to Volt Switch into Crocodile, and being behind the sub would just give me an option if I want to switch out without being pursued, or if I wanted to Energy Ball him. So I go into Latias, and he goes for Shadow Ball, and this Shadow Ball unfortunately gets a special defense drop, which really sucks a lot and puts a pressure on me, just for one reason, because this is my special wall, max HP, max special defense, and Mega Latias has insane special defense, and I can take 4 of these, and I can Calm Mind and Roost up, and eventually beat this Raikou. Because I have both Calm Mind and Roost. But when I saw this special defense drop, I just panicked and I went for Dragon Pulse. Honestly, the crit did matter, but at the same time I could have worked around it by switching out, but I just panicked horribly and I didn't act correctly. I should have switched out into something else. I go into Giacidao because I wanted to go for Dragon Pulse to put it in Aqua Jet range. Unfortunately, from this range, Aqua Jet is a roll, not a guaranteed kill, so I will not go for a roll. I go and sack my Reuniclus since it's not the most useful thing, since Mega Medicham is already at half, so it can be killed by an Aqua Jet. So he goes for T-Bolt. Sorry, just taking a drink. Goes for a T-Bolt, goes for another T-Bolt. And honestly, I wanted to switch Gengar on this T-Bolt. I was so sure he's gonna go for T-Bolt, but I just couldn't risk him going for Shadow Ball. I felt it was too risky, but I should have done that. So going to Gannicus, the Gannicus, the Crawdaunt. As he goes into his Skarmory, I'll go for Aqua Jet. I don't want to predict whatsoever. And this doesn't do much to the Skarmory. So I decide to switch out and obviously go into my own Skarmory since I can take any hits safely, completely. And going into my own Skarmory, here Brave Birds, he doesn't want me to set up SD or anything. And this Brave Bird doesn't do a lot of damage, obviously. I'm Skarmory, he's Skarmory. No one's going to be hurt. And I get some leftovers. I decided to set up rocks just to save me from rolls and shit. And plus I don't want, rocks. I have free opportunity to set up rocks, so why not? So we both set up rocks, and then I go for Roar as he goes for Whirlwind, and I do outspeed or win a speed tie, I'm not entirely sure. And I get this Roar off on him as he will be kicked out into his other Pokemon, which is the Crocodile. Now here I make a kind of a stupid play. I figured that his Crocodile is I mean, I didn't know that he had Milotic in the back, honestly. I had the picture of the team preview, but I didn't really notice Milotic, and this is a horrible misplay. I figured that this is the only thing that resists the Scarf Shadow Ball from Gengar. So I kept going for Brave Birds just to put it in the Scarf Shadow Ball range, and from that on, I can kill this thing with a Shadow Ball, and then bait the Alakazam, which is most likely Sash or Scarf. He could be Scarf with Trick for Chansey. So I keep going for Shadow Ball, and I've seen him use Scarf with Trick anyways. So I keep going, I think him or someone else, I'm not sure. I've seen Alakazam use Trick on a Chansey, I've seen that before. Anyways, so I keep going for Brave Birds, and I think I put this thing with the Stealth Rocks in range of Shadow Ball. And I figured, okay, right now I'm just gonna Suicide with my Skarmory. I'm not gonna Roost, I do have Roost, but I'm not gonna waste any time. Anyways, he knocked off my Rocky Helmet, and he's gonna win this battle eventually. So I decided just to make it quicker and Suicide, go into my Gengar, which is invested in physical defense, because I'm Scarf, I don't need all that speed. So I have a little bit of physical defense, just to save me from what do you call it? Yes, to save me from 2 bullet punches from Mega Medicham. So he goes for Brave Bird, and I know this will not kill, as I'm here hoping that I would bait the Alakazam out. If he's not Scarfed, I will break the Sash, and then Crawdaunt will just sweep his entire team. So here I am, waiting for the sweep. Alakazam, please come out, but he has Milotic. I really did not, it just flew off my mind. I didn't notice that he had a Milotic, and up to this point the score is 5, so the reason I didn't believe that is because I didn't believe that the score was 6-0, so I just looked at his first 5 and I was like, okay, these are the Pokemon. I didn't notice Milotic anyways, so when he came into Milotic, I just was like, no! Okay, I made a horrible plan and I have no switches for this thing because Ganacus could be burned. Mianxiao would just die from a Scald. So going to a Ganacus, which, fun fact, Ganacus got a kill every single time he came in an LBA match. So we'll go for Knockoff, knock this thing out, even if it's physical defensive as it, but right now he has Fake Out, and this is good game, except Psych. I do have Protect, I packed Protect for Fake Out Mega Medicham specifically, fuck, yeah. But he then switches out. The fact that he didn't go into his Mega Medicham, into his Alakazam first, just tells me that he's actually a Scarf Alakazam and he doesn't want the roll for the Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet is a 50-50 chance, I think, to kill or not. So go for Aqua Jet, take him out. And I'm really starting to believe that he's more Scarf than Sash. But he goes into his Alakazam, and unfortunately I'm intimidated, so I can't go for Aqua Jet, and I'm forced to sack off my Mianxiao just to go back. Right now he has a Red Health Raikou, which dies to an Aqua Jet. He has less than half Medicham, which dies to an Aqua Jet as well, and I have Protect from the Fake Out. And finally he has an Alakazam, which is a 50-50 chance to kill with Aqua Jet or not. So, moment of truth. Is he Sash or is he Scarf? And unfortunately, he doesn't even die. And I asked him later if he was Sash or Scarf. He told me he was Sash, just for the Crawdaunt, and you really can't count Nuclear out. He'll plan well. Even though Scarf sounded like a good idea, but I was surprised that he didn't bring Scarf to trick my Chansey, since Chansey had kind of an edge on his team. Anyways, this battle is against Ryan Kais. No, not Ryan Kais, against Rayleigh. And I don't know his IGN, I don't know his in-game name. Anyways, so basically, he has also Mega Medicham. He's from our division, so different roster from the other division. And I brought kind of the same team, but I also traded Chansey for a Clefable, which, once I knew that, the trade would be active on the next week, so I decided to bring Chansey just one last time. So I lead off with my Scarf Gengar, which would destroy all his leads except for the Volcarona, and he does lead with the Volcarona, so I was like, okay. We do have a check, which is the Assault Fist Arcanine, as he goes for Quiver Dance, and whatever move he wants to go, we can take because we have Flash Fire. And he goes for Psychic, which Psychic doesn't do a lot of damage to us. And I go for Flare Blitz, and I get a crit here, and he says that crit hurt his Volcarona, but I really don't think so, because Flare Blitz does 90% from Adamant Arcanine to Volcarona, so that crit didn't matter whatsoever. I'm sorry, really, it didn't matter. Fuck you. Anyways, it goes into Quillfish. As I go for Extreme Speed, I just couldn't risk taking the damage, even though the switch was obvious. Plus, I had nothing for Quillfish. So I go for Extreme Speed, doesn't do shit. I switch into my Chansey just to see if he has whatever move. And plus, I wanted to set up rocks for the Volcarona not to come back in again. It goes for Thunder Wave. And Thunder Wave, luckily we have Natural Cure, so we're not afraid of Paralysis. and decided to set up rocks as he goes for taunt, and this taunt just shut me down. I didn't know this thing got taunt. I think first time I ever faced a Quillfish. So I decided... Sorry guys. So I decided to switch out. I mean, yes, switch out, go into my Reuniclus. It goes into Volcarona. I'm not sure if this is a prediction, or most likely a prediction, because if Hydei went for Seismic Toss, he would have been dead. So I go into my Reuniclus as he goes for Tailwind, and I will not allow him to... I went for Thunder Wave because he's in such a low health that he can't go for Substitute and evade the Thunder Wave if he had it. And if he goes for Roost, Psychic will not kill, so Thunder Wave was obviously the best play. So I do go for Thunder Wave as he sets up Tailwind. I switch it to Chansey. He gets paralyzed. Doesn't matter because later we see that he does not have Roost, so regardless of what he's doing, it will not hurt the Chansey. I set up rocks just because residual damage on his team is good, and if he decided to switch out, he's gonna die. Goes for another Fiery Dance. Obviously, even though being paralyzed, he's outspeeding us because of the Tailwind. Fiery Dance does kinda okay damage, and then I go for Seismic Toss, taking this Volcarona out. Excuse me, drinking water. This is a long episode. He goes into his Landorus, and this Landorus is obviously gonna go for knockoff, since why would it come in against the Chansey when he has that Mega Medicham? He wanted to knock me off to go for comfortably for his moves like Drain Punch or whatever. I go into my Parthenax, the Garchomp, as he goes for knockoff. Parthenax, Bulky Chomp, my Lucky Charm, even if it's not a good matchup, if I bring this thing, it just does wonders. It never fails to surprise me. I've been using this since X and Y, and every day I get surprised by weird thing that it does. So here I lock myself into Outrage. I could have gone for Earthquake predicting a switch, but I've seen him before not using an offensive non-Scarf Landorus, which was I think an Assault Vest Landorus. So I don't want to go for Earthquake and him staying in and then just hitting me back with an Earthquake. So I kept going for Outrages as he goes into his Quillfish, and Quillfish tanks these hits as we are not offensive. And we keep going for Outrages as he switches out, goes into his Landorus just to give us another Intimidate, maybe wanting to preserve the Quillfish or something. I'm surprised he doesn't have Scald. Does Quillfish get Scald? It doesn't matter. So I go for another Outrage, and this thing lives because I'm at -2, unfortunately. Barely lives. And I decide to switch out because if I hit myself in Confusion, I'm just gonna die. I'm not gonna die, I mean, I'm just gonna waste a lot of time. So I go into my Mark Cuban because Earthquake is obvious. So Mark Cuban just does not like this team and just fires off a Shadow Ball on the incoming Quillfish, and Quillfish is obviously gonna die. It's a physical wall rather than a special wall. So Shadow Ball taking this Quillfish out, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And guys, I really think Gengar has Mark Cuban's smile. Just Google Mark Cuban. He's a billionaire or billionaire. I'm not sure. Anyways, he's a super rich guy, and if you Google him, you'll see that he has the exact smile of Gengar. So it's set to switch out because obviously I don't want to take anything. No, he can't touch my Chansey because I know my own moves, which are Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. No, actually Sludge Bomb, HP Ice, and Perish Song. The reason I have Perish Song over Destiny Bond, I'm not sure if I said this because I recorded twice and the mic failed. The reason I have Perish Song over Destiny Bond is because I don't want to Destiny Bond the Volcarona as it's Quiver Dancing. So I go for Seismic Toss on this Landorus. And Landorus goes down because I obviously went on the Chansey as he switches in. I mean, I went on the Gengar because he's obviously going to switch out to his Gengar. He goes into his Medicham, and I figured he's going to fire off a high jump kick. Or actually Drain Punch. So I wanted to go into my Parthenax, and even if he fires off a high jump kick or Zen Headbutt, he's just going to lose some of his health and be close to range of Crawdon's Aqua Jet. So he Mega Evolves and goes actually for Psycho Cut, which is a great addition on his part because he will not touch the Rough Skin and Rock Helmet, even though I don't have my Rock Helmet. So he goes for Bulk Punch, and like I said, Bulk Chomp always surprises me. Huge power. Mega Medicham goes for Bolt Punch and does not get the kill. That's insane. So go for Outrage. Obviously, unboosted Outrage is not gonna kill, but I switched in this Garchomp just to sack it, and in the end, it killed Mega Medicham. So thank you so much, Bulk Chomp. We both go down. I did have rest, but I didn't expect to live the Bullet Punch at all. And plus, I don't want to rest against Medicham. You might never know what it might pull off. Substitute or something. He goes into his Ditto. I go into my Mark Cuban. No, he has Ditto and Superior, so I figured going into Mark Cuban is the best option because if he goes into his Ditto, he will just transform into me, and I can go into Chansey. And if he if he goes into Superior, I am Scarf, and I can go for Sludge Bomb and take it out. So I go into Chansey as he goes for Hidden Power Ice. He locks himself into Hidden Power Ice, which is weird. I go for soft boiled and I keep going for toxic, predicting the Serpeder to come in. I don't want to switch in anything else and just get destroyed. So I switch out, go into Renicholas as he's struggling because Ditto only has 5 moves, so 5 PP of every move. So go into my Renicholas and fire off a Psychic as he switches out, which is weird. I thought he was sacking this thing. Goes into his Thick, the Serpeder. As I go for Psychic, obviously I forgot that Ditto has 5 PP, or I would have stayed in with Chansey if I knew he would struggle, because he would get so much recall from my HP. So I go for Psychic, he goes for Leaf Storm, gets a crit, which didn't really matter in the score. And right now we're at 5-2 for us, and we go for another Psychic, take this thing out, we get a crit just to spite him, even though it didn't matter. And this Serpeder goes down, and then he goes into his Ditto, transforming into us. Now, I could have switched out just to preserve differential, but I really don't care about differential. I know my own moves. I have Psychic, I have an Energy Ball, and if I go into Chansey, I'll just wall those, but I didn't want to win with Chansey. Chansey's a bitch, and this is one of the reasons why I traded it. I can't really use Chansey so well. So I go into Gannicus to get the final kill, which, by the way, Gannicus has one of the highest kill in the entire LBA, and yeah, I'm so proud of it. And yep, I get this free kill on it just to make sure that it gets a kill every single match. And then I do get my yes, I do get my win. So basically this is a preview of the week. So week 1 we got 2 wins, 0 losses. Week 2 we got 2 wins, 0 losses. Week 3 we got 1 win and 1 loss, unfortunately, versus my friend Abdullah. And then week 4 we had 2 wins and 0 losses. And then week 5 we had 1 win and 1 loss. And then week 6 we had 1 win and 1 loss. So we're doing pretty good, but we could do a lot better. But it's still a very respectable performance. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Next week is gonna be hard, and we'll try our best to go with the best record possible. And we did get Clefable, so the dragon problem. So basically we lost against my friend just because Latias was dropping Dracos so freely without any kind of punishment, and this really crippled my team. And then we lost against Sophie because kinda Gardevoir puts in the pressure because we didn't have a special wall. And then at the end we lost against Nuclear, as we saw in the first battle, just because Raikou kind of went close against our team and we did not have a special wall. So right now we have Clefable, which can be a special wall if we want it to be. We can make it Unaware Calm Mind, we can make it Magic Guard Calm Mind, we can put screens, whatever. It's a good Pokemon. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time. And if you don't like this double battle thingy, just tell me. So yeah, see ya.